The meeting will now please come to order. This is our first public meeting in the beautiful new facility here, or renovated facility here. So we just want to mention, yes. It is wonderful to be here, but I just want to mention that there might be some glitches. So we ask that people please be patient if there are, and let us know about those. I'd like to welcome our members, visitors, and staff to the November 12th, 2025 meeting of the NCPRD District Advisory Committee. We have a new member joining us today. Laura Jenks is joining us as the second representative for Sub-Area 5, the City of Milwaukee. And Laura is chair of the Milwaukee Advisory Board, Milwaukee Parks Advisory Board. So, welcome. The meeting is convening in person and remotely by Zoom. Please note that the meeting is being recorded. The Zoom chat is open. All messages received through the Zoom chat during this meeting will be part of the public record and attached to the meeting minutes. Okay, let's start. We'll do a quick round of introductions. My name is Sheila Shaw, and I'm chair of the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District Advisory Committee.
Mark Elliott, I'm sub-area 2 and vice chair of the DAC.
I'm Laura Jakes, sub-area 5, City of Milwaukee, chair of the Parks and Recreation Board.
Lisa Beatty, Mayor of Milwaukee, also sub-area 5.
Daniel Deal, representing sub-area 4.
Representing sub-area 1.
Josh Fisher, sub-area 4.
Paul Savas, liaison to the board of directors.
I'm Joel Bergman, member of the Clackamas County Advisory Board to the Milwaukee Community Center, and I'm representing the community centers.
Linda Newman and sub-area 1, and also the acting chair of the Jennings Lodge CPO and Ferry.
I'm Jessica Stead, NCPRD's executive assistant. Erin Rion, planning and development director for NCPRD and DAC staff liaison.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kia Selly. I'm the district director for NCPRD.
And I think online we have Jeanette DeCastro.
Hello, I'm Jeanette DeCastro, and I'm a DAC representative from Sub-Area 3.
Thank you, Jeanette. Okay, and I forgot to mention I'm Sub-Area 3. So tonight, if you'd like to provide public comment and are attending in person, please fill out a comment card and turn it in to me. If you're attending virtually and would like to provide a public comment, select the raise hand feature when the public comment portion of the meeting has begun, and we'll call on you in the order received. Please begin your comments by stating your name and your NCPRD sub-area or address. So first on our to-dos today is to approve the minutes. So I can entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. So are there any corrections or additions to the September minutes? And I think I just did that backwards, didn't I? Are there any corrections or additions? Okay. So let's see. Those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Answer. Those opposed? Okay, so the minutes stand as corrected. All right, I will now turn the meeting over to Director Selly.
Thank you, Chair Shaw. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Concord Community Center. It is such a pleasure to be here with all of you. This has been really a long time coming for the district to have a community center in this sub area. So I'm just thrilled to be here. Tonight, I'll start my report with some major achievements. On October 18th, over 2,000 community members joined the grand opening celebration of the Concord Park and Community Center and the Oak Lodge Library. It was a historic and joyful moment that took years of hard work by community members, the NCPRD board and staff. So thank you to everyone that contributed. On October 29th, the NCPRD board approved the 2025 system plan for the district, the first plan update since 2004. Thank you to the DAC for shaping and supporting the plan, the community that participated, and to NCPRD staff, especially Erin Rion, Planning and Development Director. At that same board meeting, the board also approved changes to the DAC bylaws, which allows for DAC alternates, and the board approved procurement of consulting services to investigate funding strategies for new general fund revenue. Lastly, replacement of the over 30-year-old aquatic park roof is nearly complete. We're just waiting for a few final touches, and I have some fun facts. So the material removed from the roof filled 14 30-yard dumpsters. The roof is 51,300 square feet. 2,000 linear feet of metal flashing was installed, equal to a third of a mile. And the last one really speaks to the operations and maintenance future for this facility. The project doubled the roof energy R value from 12 to 23.6 by adding insulation. So that really will translate into utility savings. This type of repair and replacement aligns with the system plan theme of caring for what we have and demonstrates the district's ongoing commitment to be good stewards of the community's assets. In terms of maintenance, NCPRD Natural Resources staff continue to prepare for impacts of the emerald ash borer. It's a wood boring beetle you will be hearing more about over the coming months that impacts all ash tree species. A tour with the State of Oregon Forester was held on October 29th with DAC and board members. Thank you to those of you that attended at North Clackamas Park. Over 200 ash trees have been identified in that park alone. This is a developing situation, and we expect to provide a presentation on our plan in early 2026. Also, annual removal of the docks at Milwaukee Bay Park is now complete. Docks are removed before each winter to prevent damage that could be caused by debris that would collect on those docks during high water. NCPRD maintenance staff are also performing seasonal winterization at parks, which includes restroom closures. In terms of recreation, I'd like to highlight a few recreation program achievements that are included in your packet, but they're worth repeating. Over 361 youth in grades 1st through 8th are participating in the Side Out volleyball program this season. The league continues to thrive with a 17% increase in participation, which is pretty significant. The Boo Bash Carnival, which was held here in this building, welcomed 618 participants at the Concord Community Center, and there was such a strong turnout, we actually had to turn people away, and we've instituted timed entry for our future events. So you'll be hearing about that more going forward, but please share that with some of the community members that you think need to know, because that means that they might show up and not be able to get in at an event. The Hoopers basketball season has started. The league serves more than 1,500 players in kindergarten through 12th grade. So tonight you might hear some kids playing in the background, and that's the Hoopers basketball program. As of today, Baker Tilly has completed the district's annual audit for fiscal year 24-25 and has reported no concerns. I want to thank Kelly Guntner, who is sitting in the back here tonight, and her team for their work to support the audit, as well as their excellent finance work that has generated this positive outcome. So thank you. The audited financial statements will be posted online. The district's annual year in review publication is now live and on our website with notable statistics. And tonight I'm going to cite some from the North Clackamas Aquatic Park. In fiscal year 24-25, the park hosted over 167,000 visitors, almost 30,000 swim team participants, and over 3,000 swim lesson participants. So it is a well-loved facility. And a few announcements. The Concord Community Center will be officially open as of November 17th, so next week, with free drop-in hours, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And community members will have access to any programs that we might have set up in the gym, as well as the community room next door. So bring your coffee and friends and come check it out. We have already hosted events, as I mentioned, Boo Bash, and will soon host recreation programs daily. NCPRD is hosting several teen nights this winter. Please see your packet or go online for more details. The NCPRD Trillium Creek Tree Planting Party will be held on November 22nd at Trillium Creek Park. And the district's annual winter celebrations event, will be held at the Concord Community Center here on December 6th. And again, we need participants to register for timed entry. Looking ahead to 2026, NCPRD will host a Lunar New Year celebration at the Milwaukee Community Center on February 8th at 1 p.m. And then lastly, in February, Metro is going to host a special session with the District Advisory Committee, February 11th. So please mark your calendars at 5:30 p.m. here at Concord Community Center to discuss the Metro Community Choice Grant Program. So they're coming to us. And if you have any questions, reach out to Jessica or to Erin. But they're actually going to provide dinner and have a discussion with all of you. So more information to come, but please mark your calendars.
Did you say that was 5:30? I'm sorry.
Yes, that's okay, Joel.
Expression, Mike.
Thank you. February 11th at 5:30 p.m.
Thank you.
And that will include dinner. So tonight I want to finish my remarks with a shout out to Mark Elliott, our vice chair, the DAC, and Valerie Chapman, who's not here tonight, for their Heart of the Community fundraising campaign in support of drop-in hours at the Concord Community Center for next fiscal year. Yes. Their October sneak peek event, which was a preview of the Concord campus in advance of the grand opening celebration, raised $15,000 at the event and counting.
I think that's pretty close.
Okay, good. If you're interested in donating, Mark, how should participants donate?
Best way is to go to the Friends of the Oak Grove Community Council website, which is FOGCC at something dot. Well, I've been, you stumped me.
No worries, I put you on the spot, didn't I? So,
I'll look that up. I'll get back to you.
okay, so we'll circle back to this at the end of the meeting with a website location for all of those generous community members that are wanting to donate. Oh, you have it already. Okay.
That's it. Is it the bottom one?
Yes.
The top one.
Okay, so it's Friends of OGCC.org.
Yes.
Okay,
Friends of OGC.
all right, sorry. Thank you, Mark. Again, if anyone has questions, you can submit your questions, sorry, Jessica, to Jessica, and we'll make sure that you get the right information. That concludes my director report. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that. Some exciting things going on. I will now open the public comments portion of the meeting. As a reminder, if you'd like to provide public comment and are attending in person, please fill out a comment card and turn it in to me. If you'd like to provide a public comment and are attending virtually, please select the raise hand feature and we'll call on you after the in-person comments and in the order received. Testimony is limited to 3 minutes. Comments shall be respectful and courteous to all. Please begin your comments by stating your name and your NCPRD sub-area or address. Are there any public comments? Are there any raised hands? Okay, well, you may also submit email comments for public to dac@ncprd.com, and these will be accepted as part of the public record. However, we will not be reading them at the meeting due to time constraints. Okay, so comments are now closed, and I'm turning the meeting over to Candy Ho and Marty Hanlon.
So as we're queuing up this PowerPoint presentation, I'll just start with a few remarks, Chair Shaw. So the District Advisory Committee has requested information about the Older Adult Services Program at the Milwaukee Community Center for quite some time. You might recall that we had a discussion last fall, actually about this time, when we were discussing budget. And then later in the spring, there were additional questions raised. And what I promised all of you is that staff would return with a comprehensive presentation on the program. And we've tried our best to put together a presentation that anticipates all of your questions. But we needed to close the fiscal year 24-25 budget really to understand exactly where that program stood, as well as where it's going next year in terms of the financial obligation. So tonight, we really have the two experts within NCPRD on the Milwaukee Community Center Older Adult Services Program. Marty Henley, I'm going to introduce him first because he's here to my left, is the manager of the Milwaukee Community Center. And Candy Ho is the Recreation Services Director for NCPRD.
Good evening. We are excited to share an overview of the older adult services that are offered at the Milwaukee Community Center with you this evening. And I just wanted to highlight that this presentation specifically covers our older adult services programs. It does not include our recreation programs, events, or facility rentals that also occur at the Milwaukee Community Center. Those are funded through our recreation program budget. Let's start. Today, we will cover the fiscal year 25-26 budget operation update and provide an overview of the older adult services, including staff and volunteers, social services, that includes community-based support services and Older American Act offerings, and nutrition. We have a Clackamas County comparison of federal and state funding allocation from last fiscal year, budget challenges, opportunities, next steps, and the Milwaukee Community Center Foundation fundraisers and events. I'd ask that you hold all questions until we've completed our presentation, and I'm going to turn it over to Marty.
So as you probably know, we are funded in transportation and our 5th day through the end of December right now. So staff has been working on ways of getting these programs transitioned. So first of all, transportation. There's been a few things that we have done. We've had the TriMet lift service into the Milwaukee Community Center to try to get our approximately 45 regular users tied into the lift service. So they came in, talked to people about the service, tried to get them signed up, talked about eligibility. We've also worked with the Clackamas County Transportation Reaching People Program, TRP, to get our regular users also signed up for that program. That program is limited in capacity, so that is not a replacement program for our shuttle service, but more of a complementary thing for people needing transportation. For our actual shuttle service, we have been in conversations with 2 different providers simultaneously. One is Ride Connection, which is a metro-wide regional transportation provider for older adult transportation. And we are deep into conversation with them. They are trying to see if our service will fall into one of their also partners, Impact Northwest, to see if they can provide the service within their operations. We also have another conversation going with a local nonprofit, Rivers East Village. Sorry, and we are at we've been having conversations with them to see if they can provide it. They're doing their due diligence to see if they can do this service for these folks without impacting what else they do financially from an operations standpoint. So we hope to have all this rounded up, and now it's not rounded out, but it is in progress, and we are optimistic that we are going to find a solution for this. Okay, as far as the 5th day of operations, I'm pleased to say that the Milwaukee Community Center Foundation has pledged their support to keep the Milwaukee Community Center open on Fridays through the end of the fiscal year. So, and that's really good news, and we'll be operating for 5 days through the year. Okay, the next slide will detail what makes up the older adult services at the MCC. All right, staff and volunteers. We have four full-time and 7 part-time staff in the older adult services. You can see the breakdown up there. The reason there's a lot of decimals is not because we have partial people. Kind of wild, but because the way these budgets are broken up, different people are portioned differently in different budgets. So those are the folks that are in those budgets. That does not include administration or management staff or support staff. Those are the direct service folks. The volunteer program is crucial, the crucial element at the Milwaukee Community Center. They impact every part of what we do there. We involve volunteers in many roles, including board members like yourself. We have a Milwaukee Community Center Advisory Board. Joel sits on that. We have a foundation board as well. We have volunteer receptionists, group leaders, data entry workers, food prep, delivery staff, wood splitters, blood pressure monitors, event staff, nearly anything you can think of. If we think of a job, something that needs to be done, our first thing we do is try to find somebody who will do it for free. So it's a great program. It really is what does keep the center with our limited staff running at such a full capacity. Last fiscal year, volunteer service hours equaled 14 full-time equivalency positions within the older adult services.
That's very impressive.
It's if you go there and you see people working, most of them are all volunteers. It's great. Okay, so social service, community-based support services. These are services we do at the community center. Many of these programs partner with other professionals such as lawyers, nurses, counselors, who volunteer their time to offer services. The healthy aging seminars are usually free to attend and often feature a professional speaker providing helpful information for older adults. They focus on safety, health, and financial well-being. Our staff assists this and helps set it up, but they're run by these community service folks. We also do more traditional social services you might think of. And these are funded in part through the county contract with the Older Americans Act of approximately $60,000 worth of services a year. Another slide later will show how that's broken down within the county. Our staff provide these services and we receive partial reimbursement through our agreement with the county East 3S. I wanted to highlight one program in particular. It's just really great. It's called APAC, A Place at the Center. It's a family caregiver respite program that provides a space for individuals with age-related memory loss to participate in recreational activities, have fun, play games, and gives their caregivers a break. I also just want to hint at one thing that although the nutrition and social service budgets are separate, they're closely connected. Most of our staff working in both areas and a lot of our clients taking advantage of both the nutrition and the social service aspects of the health services. Okay, the nutrition program. So the first up is Meals on Wheels. That's sort of the flagship there, and we deliver about 250 meals out our kitchen, fresh cooked every day. Also, we provide frozen meals for folks for the weekends. These people not only get the nutrition of the meal, they get a daily visitor volunteer who comes, knocks at the door, says hello, delivers the food, makes sure they're okay. Sometimes it's the only person a lot of these people see in a day, so it really makes a difference in their lives besides just the food. Congregate dining is just basically a lunch, fancy name for lunch. People basically get the same meal that the Meals on Wheels folks get, but it's served in the dining area there at the Milwaukee Community Center, where you all had your meeting last month or a couple months ago. And all these meals are donation only. There's no set charge. We ask for a $4 donation. The average donation is probably closer to $1.50. So, and the third thing we do is Pete's Cafe, which is basically a little cafe connected there. People come in, have coffee, pastries, you know, a little treat, a sandwich or some soup. And that's more for people that aren't interested in like sitting down for a lunch at lunchtime. Big lunch, they just kind of want to have some food with a friend or meet and hang out and have some coffee. Okay, so here is the breakup of the funding through Clackamas County. As you can see, there are different ways of the different centers in Clackamas County that they're operated. 4 are nonprofits. 5 are city operated. And then the last one us is NCPRD, run by NCPRD, the Parks District. We were originally one of the city operated ones. And when the Parks District formed, the NCPRD took on operations of the Milwaukee Center and incorporated not only the city, but that incorporated area that now makes up the Parks District. If you look at the money, the grand total, the Milwaukee Community Center gets the most revenue out of this contract because we serve the most people. H3S breaks the contract down based on units of service. There is a cap on units of service, so that's the max we can get no matter how much actual service.
As shown in the graph, the rising costs of doing business continues to outpace our revenues. The Older American Act limits our income from these services. Expenditures continue to rise, requiring increased general fund subsidy for older adult services. The current fiscal year 25-26 revenues include $180,000 contribution from the Milwaukee Community Center Foundation to support the nutrition program. This generous donation has not been included in the forecast that you see for the projected years. We have been in discussion with the foundation and expect to know within the next month how much financial support they can provide the older adult services in the coming year. Potential opportunities for additional revenue next year include, as mentioned, seeking continued support from the Milwaukee Community Center Foundation, forming new partnerships, securing sponsors and grants, and increasing facility rentals. We will keep working to find cost savings by partnering with other service providers. For example, we have been collaborating with other meal service providers to understand their service models.
Okay, so the MCC Foundation fundraiser and event slide. So we're very fortunate to have a foundation at the Milwaukee Community Center. And I'm going to tell you what the mission is of the foundation. It's to provide resources and outreach to enrich the lives of people in our community by supporting the programs and services of the Milwaukee Community Center. So historically, the foundation has played a key role in enhancing the MCC's appearance and usability. These enhancements include the Rose Garden, audiovisual equipment, the hardwood floors in the canvas room, and the remodels of the library and the gift shop. They also have provided support in various ways beyond fundraising. They work to raise awareness for the MCC through events and outreach efforts. They've helped secure grants for programs and center improvements. And they offer staff a valuable resource through the client assistance program. What that is they will directly cover costs for minor repairs, rent, utility aid, or items that enhance a person's quality of life. The foundation's role has shifted over the past year as they have needed to concentrate their efforts on fundraising for the older adult services at the MCC. As mentioned, they have pledged $180,000 this fiscal year to the nutrition program. This replaces the old service model, which was more focused on building enhancements and expanding support across all programs at the MCC. Questions? Anything we can clarify?
Yeah, first of all, I'm thrilled that one here some of the depth of what y'all do and have a great appreciation for that. So thank you for doing that. I just had some questions about some of the detail. First of all, I love the fact, and my background is significant volunteer input that we with hundreds of volunteers and they do hundreds of hours, et cetera. So that model has already been that trail has been blazed because I have a concern that we won't be able to do a similar thing, or assuming since it's being done there, we can do a similar in this facility, because I really am looking at the opportunity to have the district be served by both community centers in a coordinated fashion and look at where the best use of doing this, what there, and certainly not mandate, just actually find out where the best fits are. But using volunteers is an awesome opportunity. And I hope to see that spread throughout NCPRD in general, in all kinds of things other than just, I've pulled a lot of ID with NCPRD. I think there are other skill sets that could be contributed, and so thank you for making that happen. The other thing is county services. When we were first thinking of this as even an idea in the library, et cetera, we've noticed that other places do have county services come where the people are, as opposed to having people go up to bus transfer up to red soils. And I don't know how much, because in the descriptor, it says community-based support services and Older American Act offerings, both listed under social services, but does Health and Human Services or any of the other county regulated one, whatever, come down and, on Tuesdays they're down here and on Wednesdays they're over there, which is a model that's used throughout other parts of this state and the rest of the country.
So I think that a couple things. One, part of the reason they fund all the centers is so that people don't have to come up to red soil. So they go where they're comfortable, where they're used to see, where there's a friendly face and they're used to going to yoga class. Then they get a little older and they have a problem. They come to the Escada Center, the Sandy Centers in Milwaukee. So it's a county-wide built sort of network to help keep people accessing services in a more comfortable way.
Right. That's actual service delivery, and I'm actually talking about.
So and also, in a per instance basis, we oftentimes will have on Monday, we had veteran services at our center, okay? Because we were celebrating Veterans Day, and it wasn't, it's a celebration, but there's a lot of people who don't know about their benefits and such. So we had a table set out, and the veteran service guys from the county came, and we're happy to come, and they came and they tabled, so the folks could come and bring their services to people. And a lot of other different, like mental health and different other county services will come for invite, let's say, come and interface with the general public at the center.
Right, and that's the stuff I was referring to, more that, because the services that are actually being delivered are awesome. But to find out what other services they qualify for, et cetera, they usually had to go up to.
And so that's a real nice thing that we do. The county, we coordinate with the county to bring services to the center.
That was that question. And then my only other question was, is there a way, because first of all, thank you for all the work you guys are doing and NCPRD to keep it alive for this 6 months and then looking. Is there some place that it'll be posted how the progress is? Because I heard, there's still undetermined things in the works, but is that going to be like on your website or whatnot, updates on how that's unfolding as
As far as the transportation goes? Yes. Oh, we've been hopeful that we have that just in the answer, like a square answer, which we obviously don't have. So, most of the way it's being communicated to riders now is word of mouth. Like they're aware of what's happening to some degree, but we don't have right now a posted update. Where we are.
Would you be open to a request for one, given that a lot of us are supportive of that process? And I know that the riders will find out through you directly, but then the rest of the community won't necessarily know. And then there are people who aren't currently included that So that, it'd be helpful if that could be, I don't know, other things we can say, people who have interest or whatever, so if we could let it be known, I'd like to be on yours community. What do we call it? Being a party of interest, et cetera, because it is something that, one, we can improve for not the whole district, et cetera. Okay, well, that'd be awesome, and then, I love that you have a volunteer reception, that's awesome. I mean, I always have a good time every time I go over there.
We have multiple volunteer receptions.
Yeah, yeah.
You never know which one you're gonna run.
Exactly.
We have next.
So thank you so much for the presentation. Lots of information, and it's really awe-inspiring, the amount of volunteers you have and the work that the foundation is doing, jointly with you. I have a question, the slide where it was like $386,000 for the Milwaukee Community Center. So going back, this one, so on all of those totals there, you mentioned other funding sources. And so of the, I guess it's
So that's-
500, 3,000.
Those funding, so that money is specific to the Older Americans Act, most of it, not completely all of it. That's federal money that's coming through
Okay,
Clackamas County and then divvied out to the different centers depending on how many units of
Okay.
service they do.
so that's not money coming from North Clackamas Parks and
No,
Recreation.
it's coming in to
Okay.
help us operate.
That's what I wanted to
Revenue.
clarify. I wasn't clear on that. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And then Mark had a question. Oh,
I want to ask this about the FTEs that you listed, both part-time and full-time. Both are county employees or no?
They both are in county employees, yes. The full-time are fully benefited and part-time are not.
are there any other questions? Oh,
Can you go back to the slide with the numbers? So it has a column for transportation with 82,000. Is that something different than the
This is last
transportation?
year's.
This is last year.
And we did have transportation, that's what we received last year.
And you're not gonna receive it in the future, or it's gonna keep coming, but it's just not enough?
We'll get about half of that this year to operate through December.
Mhm.
And then the idea is whoever takes over operations of transportation, let's say Right Connection does it, then they would receive that money instead of us to provide this.
And that's, you're saying, federal money coming through the county.
The transportation money is a little different, that most of that comes through the state transportation, which may also be federal through the state.
Okay. And I'm really happy to hear that we've got some potential solutions for that.
Very hard on.
And the foundation, kudos to them for keeping the 5th day open. So that's a commitment they made over and above the 180,000.
Correct.
And what does that cost?
60,000 this year.
60? Yeah. Thank you.
Actually, it's 30, it's not that.
Okay, Linda?
Just one quick question. The volunteers that you have, that's spectacular. Congratulations.
Yeah.
How are they managed?
So that's a great question. So we do have that part-time volunteer coordinator, although he's more of a volunteer recruiter and organizer. With all the staff at the Milwaukee Community Center are basically volunteer managers. So for instance, the volunteer receptionists are managed by our part-time receptionist. All the nutrition volunteers are managed by the nutrition coordinator, and the social service people. So everybody sort of has their job plus this group of volunteers they're managing in the different aspects of the center.
Just want to add one thing on the transportation side. You're probably all aware, watching what's happening at the state level with regard to the package that the governor signed the bill on Monday. That could be that there's another group of people that are out there trying to circulate enough signatures for a petition to put on the ballot in November. If they're not successful, and the bill stands, there's an opportunity, there's 2 years of funding for state transportation improvement funds. And if it's not renewed, we can at least possibly do a pilot. The pilot could include transportation services that might look at community centers, senior centers around the region of the urban area, for example, we don't know. But we're waiting. We're not gonna do anything until we know that funding's secure, but if there is a referendum, then we're gonna be waiting a whole year, because it'll be on the ballot next November, and odds are the voters will probably reject the reduce, so there won't be any transportation improvement. But I don't know, I requested the funding or the actual measure or the ballot measure referral to see what's included on there. I'm presuming that the transportation tax is included. They have the ability to actually parse out pieces of the bill and leave them alone and only petition for, let's say, the gas tax or the vehicle registration fee or increases like that. So today was supposed to be the day where that information is supposed to be released as to what Secretary of State approved and what's in the package for the referral. But possibly money for transportation, but we'll see. That would include here. But irregardless, there is funding available for lift service within a certain distance between any TriMet line there is. So this place is eligible right now for lift service, just as Milwaukee Center is. So that's my little update on transportation. We've been working hard trying to figure out a way to fill the gap, but we ran out of options of what you're aware of and what was just shared. So this is the only other opportunity for expansion.
Okay, well, thank you. We have a question from Jeanette.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate the report. This is one of those that's more of a comment than a question, but I wanted to talk about the nexus of transportation safety and our community center. So I'm also on the Transportation Safety Commission with Clackamas County, and currently the county is working on their Transportation Safety Action Plan, and sort of looking through those materials that, there's target areas to try to reduce fatal and serious injury crashes. And aging road users unfortunately is in the top 5 for both of the time periods I saw. And I just really want to express my concern that there's so much pressure on our paratransit options, so much funding pressure, because it's clearly, based on Marty and Candy's presentation, a really valuable community service to get folks in touch with community and services at the community center. But it's also really helpful to provide options that aren't driving your own vehicle somewhere. So I just wanted to talk about that transportation connection. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette. Any other comments? Okay, well, thank you so much for the work you're doing, for the presentation, but for the work you're doing supporting the community. That is just wonderful.
Thanks for having us.
So next, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Director Sully and Kelly Guntner.
Evening, everyone. My name is Callie Gantner, Finance Supervisor for NCPRD. And of course, this is Sully, Director for NCPRD. This evening, we'd like to officially kick off the FY 2026-2027 budget cycle.
All right.
I prepared a brief agenda for this evening. I will quickly touch on just a few budget basics, showcase a few of our FY 2024-2025 accomplishments, review our FY 2025-2026 adopted budget, touch on our current challenges and opportunities, and end with some discussion. Okay, let's dive into a few of those budget basics. Keep it brief. This slide shows how stakeholders are engaged throughout the budget process, from development to final adoption. The process is divided into two parts. The internal process, shown at the top, where staff develop, review, and prepare the budget. The budget process, shown at the bottom, is where we invite community input and participation. November through February is our budget development phase. During this time, staff prepare initial projections and draft proposals. We hold our district advisory committee meeting to present early budget development work and gather input from advisory committee members. In February and March, we review that input and provide budget updates to ensure community priorities are reflected. During this time, Oregon budget law prohibits us from discussing the specifics of the budget, but we can talk about the general areas that will be impacted. In April and May, the budget goes through formal review and approval. It's reviewed by the county administrator in April. In May, the budget document is distributed for public access, and we hold our budget committee meeting. This includes a presentation, public comment, discussion, and approval of the proposed budget. Finally, in June, the process concludes with budget adoption, where a public hearing is held and the approved budget is formally adopted through resolutions. This timeline emphasizes transparency, collaboration, and accountability, ensuring that the public has meaningful opportunities to engage before final decisions are made. So the budget committee combines our board of directors and appointed district residents. Its main purpose is to review and recommend the NCPRD budget to the board of directors. There's a lot of information on this slide, so feel free to go back and revisit. So let's see here. The DAC roles and responsibilities in the budget process include helping to provide input on key areas like property acquisitions, capital and planning projects, programs, services, and events. The DAC also provides information and support to the NCPRD Budget Committee. A Budget Committee liaison is appointed by the DAC. The liaison communicates DAC values and priorities, serves as a resource to the committee, and shares feedback or concerns from the DAC. Sheila Shaw has fulfilled this role for the last budget cycle. She has asked that we open this opportunity up for another member to participate. So I'll quickly ask, do we have a volunteer?
Well, you know, if someone else is interested.
All right. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Thank you. All right, the NCPRD budget includes 5 funds. The general fund has the most flexible funds and is where we collect our largest and most critical source of revenue, property tax. This fund is where you'll also see our operating expenses. It houses all our programs like sports, park maintenance, and planning, for example. We have 3 system development charge funds, and this is where we collect SDC permit fees from new development, such as a new apartment building or a major redevelopment. These funds can be used to build new parks and facilities. They cannot be used for ongoing operations. The last fund is our capital projects fund, where we hold funds for our capital projects, such as the new Concord Park, and large repairs and replacements of district assets, such as the new roof at the Aquatic Park. System development charges, or commonly called SDC, are one-time fees collected for new development or significant redevelopment. They cannot be used to fund new capital projects that serve growth within our district. SDCs cannot be used for operations and maintenance. This slide shows the 3 different SDC zones in the district. Zone 1 includes 2 separate accounts or funds. one for the city of Milwaukee, and one for the urban growth management area.
I just want to clarify, the funds don't come from the residents. The funds come from the developers?
That's
Yes, yes.
Do you want me to jump in? So
Yeah,
that's
the
correct.
SDCs, yeah.
That's correct.
Okay.
So developers or builders, whoever might be, constructing a project. Now, from time to time, a homeowner will be doing their own, permit processing. But most typically, it's, we see that most of our SCCs are generated by permits for, multifamily projects, and those are paid for by developers.
Okay, thank you.
And that also includes commercial and industrial
Okay.
projects as well. So anyone that develops industrial property will pay SDCs as well.
Okay.
NCPRD's new system plan will provide guidance on the next 20 years of investment. As a result, we are retiring the budget proposal form. Project and program implementation will now be guided by the system plan and determined by available funding, staff resources, partnerships, legal commitments, and ultimately approval by the NCPRD Board of Directors. Community input remains a vital part of the process, and we encourage ongoing engagement through public meetings, advisory committees, project-specific community engagement, and other outreach efforts. As you know, the District Advisory Committee meets every other month, starting in January of each calendar year. And in case you're reviewing this presentation online, I have provided some additional resources should they be needed. Now on to the fun stuff. I won't read all of these statistics, but I would like to highlight that we had 72,787 volunteer hours. Our volunteers' time and dedication are an invaluable gift. It significantly reduces our operating costs, allowing us to direct more resources toward our mission. So now to quickly recap where we are today with the FY 2025-2026 budget, adopted budget. Resources totaling 42.8 million represent total funds available for the fiscal year. This includes revenue received during the year, plus the beginning fund balance carried over from the prior year. Revenues include grants, donations, taxes, SDC, charges for services, and miscellaneous revenue. Miscellaneous income. This year, the Milwaukee Community Center Foundation generously donated $180,000 to support nutrition services and will now also financially support a 5th day of service at the Milwaukee Community Center. Of the 42.8 million in total resources, 60% comes from the beginning fund balance. Our largest single source of new revenue continues to be property taxes, set at 54 cents per 1,000 of assessed value, a rate that has remained unchanged since the district's founding in 1990. These funds are our most flexible and vital resource, providing the essential support needed to sustain daily operations and maintenance, recreation programs and events, capital repair and replacement, and older adult programs and services. Under Oregon budget law, a balanced budget means resources equal requirements. So our total expenditures also amount to 42.8 million. We've organized the budget into 2 main categories, operating and non-operating. Operating expenses totaling 11.7 million are directly tied to our programs and daily operations. They fund 5 lines of business: administration, programs and community centers, older adult services, parks, trails, and natural areas, and planning and development. Operating expenses include personnel costs and materials and services associated with these 5 lines of business. Non-operating expenses total 31.1 million and include capital improvement projects such as a new park. Capital repair and replacement projects such as the aquatic front roof, interfund transfers, reserves, and contingency which is why the non-operating budget is so large. I'm now going to pass it to Kia to dive into key challenges and opportunities the district faces.
Hey, thank you, Kelly. So as Kelly mentioned, NCPRD's largest source of general fund revenue is from a fixed permanent tax rate of 54 cents per thousand of assessed value. The district does not collect any county general funds. And our tax rate, again, as she mentioned, but it's worth repeating, has not increased since 1990. It's the lowest tax rate of the 5 park and rec districts in the state of Oregon. For fiscal year 26-27, NCPRD staff are preparing to reduce expenses and identify new revenues, new sources of revenue to address a forecasted funding gap of $622,000. So I want to be really clear, that's on top of the cuts that we've already made for the current fiscal year. So we will be cutting more for next fiscal year budget to balance our budget. Reducing expenses is the first step to closing the funding gap. We will identify budget efficiencies to the extent possible and allocate our limited resources to programs and services that are most closely aligned with our mission of parks and recreation. For those program reductions that are not closely aligned with our mission, we will continue to do our very best, as we have with like the transportation program, to identify partners that can assume those responsibilities to maintain continuity of service for impacted community members. We are also actively discussing new revenue opportunities with community partners for programs at both the Milwaukee Community Center and here at the Concord Community Center. I expect to share specifics with you early next year. At the Milwaukee Community Center, the goal is to maintain our current level of service for nutrition services, including 5 days of congregate meals. And at the Concord Community Center, the goal will be to continue to maintain free drop-in hours, again, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., Monday through Friday. Having community partners that are willing to invest in our programs and services is a vote of confidence in NCPRD, and we are deeply appreciative of their dedication and support and all that they're doing to generate these resources. Although these challenges are ahead, the district is well positioned to be a financially sustainable organization by its 40th anniversary if we're able to harness the enthusiasm and support of the community, particularly that enthusiasm that we saw at the grand opening celebration in October. The system plan documents this demand and excitement, but really, again, it's what we all witnessed at that grand opening celebration, where we saw a lot of children and families, and we saw that people really want and need our services. So it will be our job to harness that enthusiasm and support going forward. Now tonight, I'm going to ask that you all put on your NCPRD District Director hat. And I want you to engage in a budget prioritization exercise similar to what NCPRD staff are going to have to do to prepare a balanced budget. So tonight, I'm asking you to provide feedback to help inform potential budget reductions for the fiscal year 2026-27 budget. The input you share tonight will be one of several factors staff will consider when developing the proposed budget. We will really be looking for trends from the feedback that you provide. Therefore, I really want you to know that the feedback that you provide tonight, while it will be really helpful and provide a point of reference for us, is one input of many in the budget preparation process. So that final budget that we produce, which you will all see published in May of next year, will not directly reflect the feedback that you shared tonight because there are many inputs. So Kelly has distributed 6 green dots and 6 red dots to you. And in the back of the room, there are 2 sets of posters that that detail each of the programs that we have here at NCPRD. So this half of the DAC will be using their green and red dots to place them on the 3 posters, kind of on your side of the room, if you will. And this side of the room will be using these 3 posters to place the green and red dots. Your task is to indicate the 6 program areas that are most closely aligned with the NCPRD mission with your green dots. And with your red dots, you are to indicate the 6 program areas that are least aligned with the NCPRD mission. And Sheila has provided you with a handy handout. Yes, it's laminated. We're in the
It's in a
folder.
plastic.
Yes, I think she expects you to bring that back each meeting with the mission detailed. The mission is to enrich community vitality and promote healthy living through connections to nature and play now and for the future. You can only apply 1 dot to each program. So you can't use all of your dots to sort of reinforce your vote for one particular program. So 1 dot per program area. Red is for essentially reductions. Green is for preservation. You have 5 minutes to complete this task.
I have a
Yes.
question. If people would like to give additional input other than their dot, what should they do?
Oh, thank you for that question, Chair Shaw. So if you'd like to submit additional input, please do so by sending an email to Jessica Stead by the end of business next Monday. Thank you.
And I put my initials on my dot because I'm not gonna remember what I did. So I'm planning on taking a picture of that.
That's a
Anyway,
great
So
idea.
if other people want to do that, is anybody else an SS in here? Okay, good.
That's a great idea. And if you need a pen, just raise your hand and we'll help you out. So you have 5 minutes to do this exercise. Once you're done, please come right back to your seat so that we know that you're finished, and then we'll tally the input. Thank you.
I thought you were saying this is cool. Oh, no, speak to your guide.
All right, so we are well over time. We'll take photos and share the photos with you for the next meeting. But we will use this feedback as we prepare our budget proposals internally as staff. Several of you told me how hard it was to do this. And that you didn't want to put all of your red dots down, you just wanted to put your green dots down. And I told you, sorry for being a stickler, but we have to submit a balanced budget. So that really is the challenge, is that in order to preserve things, you have to cut other things. And so not only does your feedback provide us with some good insight about the trends that we should be cognizant of as we prepare the budget, but also I think it's just probably a reminder to all of you that there are no undeserving programs or services within the community. They all have a constituency and a lot of people rely upon them. So thank you for participating. I know this is a tough exercise. Hallie is now going to provide me with some numbers.
Well, great, now we know how you feel, right?
Yeah, and I'll say it's not just me. All of my managers and supervisors are going through this exercise internally. It's really a team effort. Yes, ultimately, I am the face of the budget for NCPRD, but I would say the hardest work is the NCPRD Budget Committee, which is our board and community members. They have to really make the final approval, and then our board adopts the budget in June. So it's a team effort, but, thank you for that recognition, River.
Well, and especially at the end of the day, it's not an exercise for you.
I know.
Like for us,
No, it's not.
it's
No, it's not. And it's not an exercise for the community
Right.
that is impacted by these cuts too. I don't want to sound casual about it. There is a lot of consideration given. And also, Sheila, you had a very insightful reflection, which is, we don't know how much savings we're really generating. Well, we do as staff. However, there are all of these contingent relationships too. If you cut one program, you might actually cut some of the revenue, and then you might have some staff that have some availability left. So, you might not be fully utilizing your staff. So it's a very complex task, and I have a great team that's going to be doing a lot of work over the next couple of months, putting these reductions as well as these new revenue opportunities together.
Okay. Operations, maintenance, youth classes, sports, and aquatics.
So, Callie, go ahead and detail those. So in terms of preservation, the areas that have those green dots, what are we looking at?
Operations and maintenance, youth classes and sports, this includes pre-K through 5th grade, and aquatic swim lessons for all ages.
So those receive the highest number of green dots.
And the lowest in terms of preservation was those,
Excuse me, this is for the red dots.
the red dot.
These program areas have the highest number of red dots, correct?
Yes,
Okay,
highest number of
thank
red
you.
dots is social services, community-based support services. Older adult classes and sports, this is 18 through 61 years old. And trails and natural areas, capital repair replacement, example is the Emerald Ash Borer and tree.
Right. So again, we'll summarize all of this data for you and have it for your packet in January. But thank you so much for participating, and I'm sorry that we put
That's,
us a little over time.
no, that's okay. This is important stuff. Thank you so much. For me, it raised more questions about, what are alternative funding sources? How can we be doing things differently? Everything up there is important, and, continuing to go back to our mission and trying to figure out what's the best thing to do is challenging. Okay, we only have about 10 minutes left. This is the time when subcommittees can report out and different areas can talk about important things that they want us to know. So I'm just going to hurry us through that. The community center collaboration is starting. We're setting up some meetings, and this is where we want to do some visioning, thinking about what are some possibilities with now having 2 community centers. Joel?
Well, I guess to kind of dovetail onto that also, and we had some discussion about this as well. I would invite everyone here, or whomever you may know that's interested, to attend the Milwaukee Community Center Advisory Board meeting that's actually happening this Friday at 9:30. There's a Zoom link as well if you don't want to attend in person, but if you come down and you can check out Pete's Cafe or something afterwards, but regardless, 9:30, and you'll kind of see how our board functions now with the reports, including from our foundation. I think it's a terrific model for anything that someone may be considering here or otherwise. So I would invite everyone to do that. Again, 9:30 this Friday. Again, there should be a Zoom link as well.
And that's in the morning.
That is a 9:30. Yes, remember the demographic phone. One other quick thing I wanted to bring up, and I know it was kind of touched on, maybe it was brought up in the district report, but the famous Thanksgiving dinner is coming up this Sunday, November 23rd, 4 to 6. Seating is 4 to 5. This is a fundraiser for Meals on Wheels nutrition program. It's an outstanding, very popular event. You can buy tickets in advance on the Milwaukee Community Center Foundation website, which is an easy Google. I won't try to fumble through it right now. I think it's $20 for adults, $14 for kids, something like that. Regardless, well worth the money, and you can also just make a donation and help support Meals on Wheels, which obviously could use all the help you can offer. So again, that's Sunday, November 23rd.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mayor Beatty.
Well, I had a question from earlier, which I didn't, I guess I should have raised when Kia was doing her report at the beginning, but how are we doing, and I'll just put it on the table and we can discuss it later or at the next meeting, but we now have bylaws that allow for alternates. How are we selecting alternates? Is that happening in the process of selecting new members next summer, or is that happening sooner? And sort of, yeah, just how that is envisioned to go. In terms of announcements, I just want to say, December is events month in Milwaukee. So the first 3 Saturdays of December all have events in downtown Milwaukee. The Umbrella Parade and tree lighting on December 6th, Arbor Day and tree planting on December 13th, and the solstice event in Milwaukee Bay Park, December 12th.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. To comment on the alternates, I know we haven't really spoken about that. My assumption is that the county will need to, because aren't people recruited through the webpage where they ask for volunteers?
So we'll go through the typical nomination and recruitment process. And we have not discussed this internally, but my expectation would be that we would at the latest employ that new DAC bylaw for the next recruiting period. So we would do all that recruiting at the same time.
Okay.
That would be optimal. So that we can generate the most interest, but we'll have a discussion about it internally.
Okay. And there also was the suggestion, there were several people that ran last time, perhaps reaching out to them to find their interest of maybe attending meetings to
Yeah.
see how they're feeling about stuff.
Yeah, thank you for that idea.
Okay, other people having reports that they'd like to make?
Just from sub area 2, that I'm on the Oak Grove Community Council as well. So we have recently been getting a few complaints from folks about the crosswalk on Concord Avenue from coming across the crosswalk that aligns with the building entrance here.
Okay.
So, and there is a large number of, there's a lot of multifamily housing on the south side of Concord. And so we've had a few reports come in of folks who have been trying to make it across that crosswalk and have seen a lot of cars just speeding by very fast and have not, even when they're in the crosswalk itself, they have seen cars speed by anyway. So they're concerned about the safety of that crosswalk and what could be done to improve it so that there's more, what would you say, people can see them or understand this is a crosswalk. This is kind of new, we haven't had a lot of activity here for like last 12 years. So people are not used to it who travel this a lot. And Concord is becoming quite it's a mini arterial now, connecting Oakfield to McLaughlin and to other parts of River Road. So I live off of Concord down here, so I'm seeing more activity of people coming, both cars. And I'm also seeing that there's an increased number of young families with children who are sending their, have their little child in a, whatever, I forget what to call it, stroller, thank you. I haven't been a parent in a long time. Trying to cross McLaughlin and so on to get up to the park, so I'm seeing more of that. So I just wanted to bring that up as an issue that I think is going to continue to hear that. And not that I'm suggesting we have a solution right here, but I just wanted to bring that forward.
Okay, thank you for that. Actually, as staff, we can talk with County Department of Transportation and Development. I would also encourage community members to reach out to the county's Department of Transportation and Development.
Can I?
I'll pass it on as well.
Is there anything there? Is there a flashing beacon or anything? Is it just a
No.
marked crosswalk?
It's just a mark.
When it was a school, you remember there were actually
Crossing?
Crossing guards.
crossing guards, so they were pretty effective at getting attention, had all the reflective gear.
Yeah.
So. And that school buses out there often, so it's changed,
Okay, so we have two committees that don't have any members on them at this point in time, so I'm asking if anyone is interested in either of these committees, if you can email me or text me. We have an outreach committee, which is to foster and share ideas for community outreach. I know Grover has done listening sessions and stuff in his neighborhood, so if there's anybody interested in generating some ideas about ways that we can be engaged in the community more through outreach, that's one committee. And then the other one is a bylaws committee. Currently, we have no reason to be making any changes to the bylaws, but if you're interested, that if any recommendations come to work on that, let me know. So are there any other new items of new business or people that want to report out? Oh, I've got Linda.
Well,
That's
I don't think it falls under either of those, but it does directly pertain to where we are. I was wondering if Mark could put on his other hat and tell me if there are any current plans for a next fundraising step for the foundation and for funding where we are.
I don't know.
He did not pay me to ask that.
Yeah, I don't know of one at the moment, and I've been gone for a couple weeks. I don't know that there is some thoughts about what's next. Right? And I can't say that I know what they are.
But you will keep us posted.
Sure will. Yes, I will.
Okay. Grover?
Yes, so I thought Linda might say it, but I'll say it. So, as far as activities coming up on December 2nd, the Jennings Lodge community is having a holiday event. I believe it's going to be at the,
It is in question at this point, Grover, which is why I did not.
well, I will go out on a limb. We're gonna have it at the Oregon City School called Jennings Lodge, because we got a promise from their to what she called superintendent that we would be able to have community events there.
The
So-
space is not the issue.
Is that the games night?
No, that is the 18th next Tuesday.
Okay, I saw something on Instagram.
Right, games is a group activity, which ought to be fun, but no, that's on December 2nd, so.
For the time being, please do not consider yourself invited to a potluck on December 2nd.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, I already got the email that said it's not a potluck, it is
Okay,
festive.
I have been out of touch this week. I mean,
Is there any further business?
Well, I wanted to say, assuming we will have that, we will have a listening session again as part of our community gathering where people have a chance to speak up about the things and get reports from what is going on and speak about things that they're concerned about, interested in, they're thrilled with, et cetera.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for your participation tonight. And I will, let's see, no further business. So I will adjourn the meeting at
3 minutes.
6:50. Okay, I'm gonna go 6:57.